Good evening and welcome to From the AD's View. I'm your host, Dr. Cedric Brown. Today's guest is so special to me. One, he was the first guest on From the AD's View in the history of the show. Um, but he's also Angelo Costantino-Brown. He is my son. Angelo was the lead guard. He played for me in 2011 to 2013. He was on that 2012 Region 24 championship team as one of my lead guards. He's a graduate from Ole Miss University. He's a rebel. He's a 2020 recipient of the Envision Film Festival Best Actor Award as he starred in My Brother's Keeper. He's a member of the Indy Fire Department. He's a fiance. He's a father. He's my second born child. Welcome to the show, Angelo.
Thanks, Dad. I appreciate it. It's good to be on here.
Absolutely, absolutely. Making a second appearance. You were the inaugural guest on the show, and a lot has happened, Angelo, for you in a short period of time, and we'll get to that. But a couple of topics we're going to talk about today. Fatherhood, Angelo. What does that mean to you?
It's amazing. It's been a great journey and still going. My son Elijah was born February 1st, 2024, and it's been the best experience of my life.
Absolutely. Angelo, as everybody can see in the background, you're a Notre Dame fan. You're looking forward to a great Notre Dame football season. What about it?
It's Marcus Freeman's third year. I'm a big fan of Coach Freeman. I think he's doing really good things in recruiting. I think that he's, kind of changed the culture in a newer age of college football. So now I'm just looking for that to translate to on-field success. And I think that this is the year that a lot of people are going to see how good of a coach Marcus can be and how good of a team Notre Dame actually can be. So
There's not many things that you and I disagree on, son. But we do disagree on this. I'm a Knicks fan and you're a Pacers fan.
Yep.
What say you?
I say that it was hard for us to win in New York, 5-on-8, if you know what I mean. I think
Oh
those
my
refs were blowing
goodness.
the whistles a little too much. But you see what happened last night, man. They came to 3-1-7 and they took a L. So we'll see how Game 4 goes. I think it's been a really good series, though. Everybody's playing pretty well. Brunson and all of them are playing pretty well, even though he pushes off every time. But I like the series. It's competitive.
These topics and more on From the AD's View. Let's get it. Welcome back to the show. Before we bring Angelo back, I'd like to thank God, who is the head of my life. And because without him, none of the things that I do would be possible. I have an amazing family, beautiful wife. I am blessed to, be in a profession that I absolutely love. And none of those things would be possible without him. But let's bring back this very special guest of mine, my second born child, Angelo Costantino-Brown. Angelo, let's get into it, man.
Yep.
There is an amazing young individual that came into this world
Yep.
this past February. And he is the most joyful thing outside of you being born and your siblings being born. He's the most enjoyable thing that I've had in my life in quite a while. What does fatherhood mean to you, Angelo?
Um, yeah, Elijah Adonis Costantino-Brown, born February 1st, 2024. It has been a journey. Um, it's been awesome just seeing him grow this past, 13 weeks. It means a lot to me. I've always seen myself as a father eventually, and now that it's here, it's everything that I wanted and more. He's my pride and joy. He makes everything better. Long days coming home from work. Getting to see him and him, his face lighting up when he sees me and him getting excited to see me. So It's been awesome.
Right.
It's different every day. One day it'll be a really smooth day, and me and him
Yeah.
will, be chilling, hanging out, getting tummy time, putting some Mickey Mouse on. Other days he'll be really cranky, but it's the roller coaster of parenthood, and I'm just getting started on it, and I can't wait to continue to watch him grow and just teach him lessons and just be there for him. So it's been great, honestly. It's been awesome seeing mom, getting that experience also, as grandparents. That's been really cool. And then just, I have to shout out my fiance Chastine because she's just been such a rock star, as far as my work schedule goes and hers, and
Yep.
her just letting me get my rest for what I need to do. She's been awesome. So I can't it's also about the support system. It's not just about me. And my support system is just 100% awesome, and I can't ask for a better support system when it comes to Elijah. So that's important too. Um, but it's been great, man. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
It's awesome.
Absolutely. And I'm Papa.
Papa.
I'm Papa. And you, let's talk a little bit, Angelo, about the original OG Papa,
Yeah.
right? David
Yeah.
Costantino.
Yep.
A man that changed my life,
Hmm.
right? Changed my life because I was a young father, a knucklehead, didn't really know what was going on, right? And the compassion that he showed me as I was being a young father like you,
Hmm.
and the mistakes that I was making, and again being a knucklehead at the time. Um, how do you think your rearing by dad
Hmm.
has set you up to be a good father?
Yeah.
You and I have a great relationship, but how does your grandfather um, fit into your fatherhood journey?
Right. Well, let's start out. The whole reason that I have all this and all this on around me, is because of David Costantino. There was no choice whatsoever. As you can see, Costantino-Brown, the hyphenation, Costantino's Italian, grew up Catholic. Um, Notre Dame football was on the tube.
All the
The
time,
first Saturday that I think I can remember.
right?
Um, Carlisle Holiday was the first quarterback that I remember, and I think that's when Tyrone Willingham was the coach there. So, um, but Grandpa was awesome. He just was always. I think the most important thing is he always was there. I remember, just Grandpa. He always would come over every night. It didn't matter what he had going on. He was always there at the house. Just making sure that I was good. Once my sister Demi was born, just making sure she was good. And he just really, always was there for us, always cared about us. He was at every sporting event. And he just wanted us to be happy and have a good life. And that's just kind of the tradition of fatherhood. I think that I want to continue on with my son is just,
Hmm.
um, you know, not give him everything, because you got to earn some stuff in life, but just give him the best possible path to success, I think. And I think that's what my grandpa wanted for me.
Yep.
So my grandpa was a really good guy. The
Very
best,
good guy.
the best guy I've ever met. He, would always help us out if we needed anything. He never let my mom struggle if she needed, help, whether it was financially or whether it was just, help in different ways. Grandpa was always
Right.
there.
Right.
Just a great man. It's very unfortunate that he passed away when he did at such a young age of 66.
Hmm.
But I know that he's still with us. Especially, me going to church, having my faith, kind of understanding more, the journey of Jesus Christ, and um, just all of that time together. I
Right.
know he's still here. I know that, he handpicked Elijah from heaven, brought him down to me. So that's kind of special to me too. So just, always being there, making sure that Elijah has everything he needs to succeed. Is kind of the main points I take away from Grandpa, and just
Yeah.
just being there, being a good guy. And when I'm 66 years old, I want to be just like him. I want to have a big belly, still a lot of hair, hopefully, still a lot of hair, hopefully.
Oh my gosh.
Eating a lot of pasta, and going to Notre Dame football games every Saturday like he was doing. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's just
And dad was a lawyer, right? A
yep,
successful lawyer, and dad at the time, Angelo, because you were born in the early '90s. At that time, we were just coming, out of late '80s, and the in Indiana at that time, interracial couples weren't so well thought of, right?
right,
And dad was so caring and compassionate, and accepting of me, and then as you were growing up, it kind of changed. You changed, Greenwood, Indiana, right? Your
yeah,
grandmother was a part of a board that was a part of a youth organization there, and um, I mean, you were on first name basis with the mayor of Greenwood, Indiana, and things like that. So that's a part of being a father, and part of being someone that's growing up in a situation where that you can give back, right?
right,
Because full disclosure, I was gone a lot when you were growing up, right? Because I was pursuing my educational career and things like that, and would obviously get to see you on Christmas and birthdays and things like that. But I was gone, but Dad was always there for you, and I'm so
yep,
grateful and I'm so thankful for that. And then as you got a little older, and I think when you right first went to high school, then I was back because I
yeah.
was the head coach at Lakeland College,
Well, that was a
and
that was
then
a perfect time for it too,
yeah,
because Grandpa passed away when I was in eighth grade. So,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
um, it
and
was a
so
that was
it
a
was
nice transition for me in my life.
absolutely,
You know what I mean? So
absolutely,
I needed that though.
yeah,
Because Grandpa left, and Tony, my uncle Tony, he's a firefighter on IFD. He also was in the Navy at the time, so he
mm-hmm,
was stationed different places. So Tony also came back into my life more
yep,
once Grandpa passed away because he moved back.
yep,
So that was also, shout out Tony. That was also a key. But yeah, you that was definitely a really good time for us to start building our relationship too. Just because that's when
absolutely.
Grandpa passed away. But um,
And my
yeah,
brother-in-law, that's my bromance. We've done some daddy-daughter dances with my stepdaughter Gia, and went over there, and me and Tony, did some boogieing on the dance floor a little bit. So that,
yeah,
and I was the lead. I led in the dance. Never
yeah,
let your Uncle Tony forget that. But
yeah,
Angelo, I look at you as a father, right? And we're still on the
mm,
topic of fatherhood, and I see you with Elijah, and I see the love and the caring, and then sometimes I see, like, hey, this is new to me.
yeah,
I'm trying to figure this out, and we
yeah,
talk a lot. You call me on the phone, and we talk about some things and stuff like that, and try to get you in the best possible light for you to be um, the best father that you can be, and you are a great father, and
appreciate
a
it.
and a dad. I
Yep,
mean, because there's two different things
right.
with that growing going on. And then just to see my little man light up, and so just visited. I'll say this before we go to break. Just visited a couple weeks ago, and your grandmother was there. His great grandma was there, and he was just like, his personality was a little bit different, because typically he would, his typical self, his personality, when he wants what he wants, when he wants it, he'll fuss and everything. But when his granny Brown was there, he
Yeah.
was just like,
He was
in
I've
chill
never
mode,
seen
right?
that. I've never seen that. He was perfect the whole day. Usually
Right,
it's
right.
like up, down, up, down. He was like this the whole day, even
Yeah,
keel.
he was. And then, you know, when he had an opportunity, you know, when he got him in Papa's big old paws, he just kind of melted and just like, you know,
Yeah,
went to sleep and kind of chill. And you and
yeah.
Chastain are like, what
Who
is going on?
who is
Who
this
is this
child?
child right here?
Where's
You know
my
what I'm
child
saying?
at?
That
Yeah,
is so funny. That is so
yeah.
funny.
He
But
was
it's
really
a
he was really good that day. And he is for the most part, you
oh
know,
yeah, he's
but
a great baby. He's a great baby.
he knows he knows how to
Oh
get
yeah,
mom and dad
yeah,
to do
buddy. He can
whatever he
pull up those
wants.
heartstrings.
Yeah.
Hey, Angelo, let's you know, stay with me, right? Because
Okay.
I got to pay some bills real quick, and we'll be right back. You are watching From the '80s View. I'm your host, Dr. Cedric Brown. We'll be right back after this quick break.
I'm Leon Thomas with the Leon Thomas Group. Podcast, virtual events, webinars, streaming shows, and so much more. We want to be your partner in all things virtual.
Welcome back to the show. You're watching From the '80s View. I'm your host, Dr. Cedric Brown. Before I talk about my book, which I will, I am going to be on the Leon Thomas Group Radio Network each day, Monday through Friday, from 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as you can see on the screen there, you can find the radio network on the Leon Thomas Group .com. Check it out. And there's other exciting podcasts on that radio network as well. Thank you, Leon Thomas, for the opportunity. So gracious and so thoughtful and considerate in what you do for the talent in the Leon Thomas Group. Um, my book, right? How Black Men Overcome Racial Barriers in the Status Quo. It's an NCAA in NCAA institutions. It's a narrative inquiry. Again, so thankful and so grateful that I had an opportunity to put this and to give individuals an opportunity to understand that there's some positivity going on in intercollegiate athletics for men of color wanting to aspire to go to um, athletic director positions in Power Five institutions. And three of the themes that came out of the book when I wrote it were the benefits of role models, right? And as Angelo and I were just talking about, one of his role models was his grandfather, right? And you have to have role models to help you aspire and attain your goals in life. The other was role model expectations, how they set you up for success. And if you listen and you work according to how your role model sees the journey, then you can have success. And the last one was, you know, if there were perceived racial barriers or real racial barriers, how did you use the influences of your role model to get through those things in a positive way, right? And that's what this book is all about. It's about positivity in the workplace, in the work environment, in a billion-dollar industry that is factually dominated by our Caucasian counterparts, right? Most uh, athletic administrators are white men between the ages of 35 to 55. And how I and the others that I interviewed in this book were able to overcome some of the barriers to have success is what this book is all about. You can get it at Amazon.com. Again, How Black Men Overcome Racial Barriers in the Status Quo. Racial barriers and the status quo in NCAA institutions. Get it at Amazon.com. If you'd like to see more of these of my podcast, right, these episodes, you can go on cedricmbrown.org, right? You can also see it at the leonthomasgroup.com. You can get them all and more exciting things on the Leon Thomas Group Radio Network. If you'd like to see more or learn more professionally about the things that I do and the services I provide, go on cedricmbrown.org. Or if you want to be a guest like Angelo Costantino-Brown, go on the cedricmbrown.org website and email me. This show is on every Sunday evening at 6:40 Eastern, 6:40 Central, 7:40 Eastern, each Sunday evening, and you can see more open and honest discussions on From the AD's View. But let's bring back my son, Angelo Costantino-Brown. We got to get all that stuff out of the way because you got to pay bills, Angelo. You know about all this stuff because
Right.
you've been in entertainment for a while. Notre Dame football, Angelo.
Yes.
You talked about Coach Freeman, Marcus
Yes.
Freeman, one of the youngest, hottest, successful coaches in the business. A young man of color doing his thing. Joe Alt just was
Big
in the
overall.
draft, right? And Mr. Alt goes to the Titans, offensive tackle. What is Joe Alt going to do for Tennessee in that running game?
Joe Alt went to the Chargers. Dad.
The Chargers. Okay.
Chargers.
Thank you.
Yep. Man, Joe Alt is a beast. He's been really good for us the past 3 years. His dad played in the NFL, so he already kind of has that pedigree. I think he had as you're talking about, a good mentor for that to set him up for success. He's going to be really good. I think that he's going to step in the league. He's going to be a top 10 tackle right away. Probably end up being top 5 in the next 2 or 3 years. Notre Dame's known for producing offensive linemen, so that's no big secret here. He's going to be great. He's going to be really good.
And you had some other draft picks out of Notre Dame this year too, right? There was
we had Audric Estime came out. He was our running back. He did really good for us. He's really productive this year. Had a lot of touches. I think he's going to be really good in the NFL if he can find.
He was on ESPN Game Day, right?
He was on Game Day. Yep. We had Cam Hart get drafted. He was a cornerback. Cam's really good corner, really athletic. About 6'2", 6'3". Wingspan is crazy, so he can cover a lot of space there, in man and in zone. I think we had J.D. Bertrand, linebacker. We had Maris Leofau, linebacker. Who else do we have?
So it was a great draft class.
We had 6 guys get drafted. Sam Hartman didn't get drafted, which was kind of surprising to me, but
quarterback.
He's smaller, yeah. He did good for us this year. I know a lot of people were disappointed this year just because of the Ohio State loss, and then we kind of dropped the ball in some other games. The Louisville game was kind of bad, but I also think that has to do with kind of what I alluded to earlier is Freeman. It was his second year. He was kind of figuring it out. Now he's he's got that head coaching first year under his belt. Now we're in the second year. Now you're still making mistakes. You've been a head coach before. You know what I mean?
Right.
How many years did it take you to like really figure out what you were doing?
When you guys came in, right? When I had Anthony,
that was year 4 for you.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So now Marcus Freeman's in year 3, and I love Marcus Freeman. He brings energy. He brings something new. Young black coach at Notre Dame. That's people don't understand like how big that is.
Significant it is. Yeah.
It's so significant that he got that job. Once Brian Kelly left and went to LSU, all the players wanted him to be the coach. So that tells you something right there.
Right.
And I think that it just kind of shows you, Jack Swarbrick, nobody knew then, but he was going to retire in 2 years. So that was his last hire for head coach for the football program. So for him to go out on a limb, and hire Marcus, I think.
But it was a great hire, though.
It was a great hire.
It was a great hire because he kept it inside the program. And a lot of times, as athletics administrators, we think that sometimes we think that the best thing is the next thing, right? Instead
Right.
of that thing that's sitting right next to you. And Marcus Freeman was in that program, and when he was announced as the new head coach, and they did it, in their fashion with, on television and all that. And then the AD came in and introduced him, and they saw that it was him. The whole team went crazy,
Oh yeah.
right? The
Yeah, they
whole
were they
team
were
went
they
crazy.
were so hyped
Absolutely.
for it because he's awesome, man. I mean, the way he talks, you can tell that he's a player's coach. He really loves his players. He wants what's
Oh
best
yeah.
for his players. Whether it's, we're in the transfer portal era, so whether it's like if a player wants to leave to go better themselves, he's gonna help them
Supports it.
do he's gonna
Yep.
help them do that. He's gonna support it.
Yep.
He never wants a
Yep.
player to leave, but he's gonna support it. He's always gonna go to bat for his guys. I've never heard him after a loss blame his players. That's one thing that some coaches they don't do it directly, but
Right.
indirectly,
There's some jabs. There's
some
a couple
jabs
jabs.
there, like, hey, in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But he's awesome, and
Yeah.
I think year 3 is going to be special. He brought in Mike Dimbrock, offensive coordinator from LSU, which I think
Yep.
is kind of funny.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
They plucked him from Brian Kelly. So experience, right? Um, Defensive coordinator Al Golden has been with him before for the last 3 years.
Yep.
He's been a head coach before, so he brings that experience that
And
Marcus
that
can kind
defense
of
is
lean
getting
on,
better and better.
and
That
that
defense is
defense
get.
is so
It is.
good.
It is. It is.
So and like I said, he recruits, man. Like that's been a big thing with Notre Dame in the Kelly era. I think it was kind of a Kelly is a really good developer of players. So he can
Mm-hmm.
take 15 3-stars and keep them for 4 years and develop them and turn them into pretty good players and get them to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Um and win some games that way. But there was always kind of an excuse is, oh, well, it's Notre Dame. It's hard to get into because academically it is hard to get
Academics.
into.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Freeman is not taking that approach. He's going into these 5 stars and 4 stars houses and telling them that they can be Notre Dame guys. You know what I
Right.
mean? And you
Right.
can come here.
Right.
So his last 2 recruiting classes have been awesome. So
Yeah.
this is a big year. We got Riley Leonard, transfer quarterback from Duke. I think he's going to be really good. Quarterback room is great. We got a lot of playmakers this year. Offense is going to be explosive, man. I'm telling you. So, national championship, I don't know about this year, but with the 12-team playoff now, expansion, Notre Dame's
Oh
going to be in
yeah.
the conversation every year. And I think I think Marcus Freeman is going to win a national championship at Notre Dame. I truly do. It feels like we're going in that direction. Um, and I know a lot of people. People don't know what patience is nowadays, and I'm guilty of that as well.
Oh yes,
Um,
you are.
I am, but um, Notre Dame, they're going in the right direction. I'm really excited. We got Texas A&M August 31st. I got it marked on my calendar. I'll be probably in this jersey because this is my lucky jersey. And I bought Elijah his first Notre Dame jersey that will
Yeah,
be
I
able to
saw
fit
it.
him.
I saw
So
it.
I will be down here in the man cave, locked in August 31st on the next journey for Marcus Freeman in his 3rd year to that national championship.
Right. And Angelo, you'd mentioned playing and that fourth year that I was there, that was your first year. You were with a great group of young players there. We reached number 12 or number 15 in the country at Lakeland College. We beat the number 1 team in the country in Arizona,
Yep.
Monroe College at that time. What was quickly, and then we'll get to the last topic.
Mhm.
Quickly, what was it like? Tell our viewers what it was like playing for your pops.
It was an experience. Um, I think that like were kind of talking about earlier with Grandpa, our relationship, starting to build at 14.
Mm-hmm.
I think once I got there, fatherhood, right? I think that there was uh there was like a juggle for you on player son, and then
Mm-hmm.
there also is a juggle for you on like why is he doing some of the stuff the way that he's doing? He should be doing it this way. So you were trying to teach me stuff going along that, you
Right.
probably are like, if I would have taught him this at 10,
Right.
11, 12, you know
Yes.
what I mean?
Yes.
So I think that that's kind of where um, we kind of butted heads, I guess. But it
Hmm.
never, I mean, it
That's
was all
true.
love.
That's true.
It was all
No,
love.
no, Angelo, you're being truthful,
But
and that's what we do. You're being truthful.
it
Yes.
was all love. I mean, we butted heads, but I mean,
Hmm.
as soon as and I always tell people this all the time. Lakeland College was the best 2 years of my life. I
Right.
would never ever, you know, change that. I'm so glad that I went there. Um, you know,
Because you had opportunities to do other things.
opportunities to
You
do
could
other
have
things.
played Division II football. You
Right.
could have, you were in that last cut at Ole Miss to play
Hmm.
football as a rebel there. You
Uh-huh.
could have done a whole lot of other things, and you chose to come and play for your dad. And the
Yeah.
one question I asked you, I said, "Are you sure you want to come play for me?"
Yeah, but it was a great experience though. I mean, I met, I talk to those guys still all the time.
Every day.
Mikey,
Yeah.
Anthony, Dylan. I
Hmm.
talk to them all the time. They're my best friends. You know what I mean? They're gonna be, at the wedding. So it was a great experience. I'm glad that I went to Lakeland, and it turned out to be one of the best decisions I ever made, honestly.
It did. It did. And then you went to Ole Miss, where your Aunt Sheila's at, my
Yep.
nemesis, your
Yep.
Aunt Sheila. I love her to
Shout out
death.
Sheila. Shout out Sheila P, man.
Yeah, Sheila P. That's our girl.
Shout out Sheila P.
My nemesis. But your journey, Angelo, was so great. And again, like I said, I was as a young dad. I was trying to figure things out because I had to be your dad. Twice
Mhm.
as a young knucklehead, and then when I was a little older and more mature, in your teenage years, right, spending a lot of time with you at most of your football games in high school, you know, uh, helping you take care of that. And then when you came and played for me, started off a little rocky, a little rough, because I'm the disciplinarian guy and things like that. But you were a part of uh, two great teams. I mean, you won a championship. You're a champion at Lakeland College,
Yeah.
and you were a significant part of that as my lead guard, as my point guard, in many of those situations. Last thing, and I hate to even talk about this, right? Because there's no way in the world, if we hadn't have been injured, you wouldn't have won that game last night. You're a Pacer fan, and I'm a New
Yep.
York Knicks fan. Um, you know, I know I'm gonna ask this question. I know the answer you're gonna give me, but what do you think about the remaining part of the series, Angelo?
I think that the Pacers are gonna win 4-2. Now that the referees aren't on the Knicks side quite as much, it was hard for us to play 5-on-8, but we sent in what we needed to send into the league, and they looked at it, so it looked a little different last night. But it's a it's honestly a really good series, though. I
Very
mean,
good series.
every game has been what, within 6 points, I think, and
Yeah. Yep.
it's been a back and forth game. Everybody's hitting shots, man. Tyrese Halliburton's really stepping up. I know he's been struggling, and
Yeah.
um
Back spasms and things like that.
people are really getting on him, but he's been playing better, and I just think he's fighting through injury. He's trying to play,
He is.
he's trying to play through that. I think that he needs to be a little bit more aggressive. I know that his mentality and I guess his style of play is pass first, but
Yeah.
he can score though. And I
He
think that
can.
he just needs to, he just needs to be more aggressive. And he has been the last two games. I mean, he had 34 in game 2. I don't know what he had last night, but I know he had a lot of points.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um Need Siakam to step up though. A lot of people aren't getting on Siakam like they've been getting on
Yeah.
Tyrese.
Because he's a champion. He's an NBA champion.
Champion, right? He's
Yep.
been
He's an
there.
NBA champion.
He's been in these situations. He's been the number 2 guy. He has an opportunity really right now. I mean, Tyrese and Siakam kind of are in the same situation. We're waiting for
Yeah.
somebody to step up and be the number 1 guy, right?
Well,
So,
Conley's balling for you though. The little fella is
McConnell, TJ,
McConnell. Yeah. He's hooping for you a little bit.
he is. TJ is hooping. I like our team. Nimhard, I really like Neesmith. I think Aaron Neesmith is a hustler. He guards, hits
Yeah.
shots when he needs to.
Yeah.
Ben Shepherd, rookie, been
Yeah.
hitting big shots with his uh weird mustache he got going on. But
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
let that.
Yeah.
I don't know. And Miles Turner, man, shout out
Miles
Miles.
Turner. Miles
Miles
Turner
is
is hooping. He
he's
is hooping.
hooping, but you know
But
the
they all them guards getting put in the Brunson, the Brunson boogie. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's giving it to him. Left hand is
Brunson.
hard to guard,
Here's
man.
the thing, and I said this. I think Brunson's really good, but I'm just a hater right now. He'd be pushing off too much for me, man.
And
He be
he's
using
too
that left.
strong. He
He be
he's
using
he's
that
too
left. He be
strong.
pushing off. You know what I
He's too
mean?
strong, man.
And then
So
another one, Josh Hart. Like if Josh Hart was on the
Josh
Pacers, I
Josh
would love Josh Hart. But right now, I'm not rocking with him. I'm
right.
not rocking
But
with
Josh
Josh
Hart
Hart.
is balling. Hey, as we wrap it up, Angelo, tell us real quickly a little bit about what faith or spirituality means to you, man.
Yeah, it means a lot to me. Kind of just tying everything back in. When my grandpa passed away, um, I stopped going to church. Kind of was upset with God. Just kind of, why would that happen to our family, especially
Mm-hmm.
with such a key piece? I mean, the heartbeat of our family.
Mm-hmm.
So for years and years and years, I just didn't really continue my faith until I got invited to the church that I go to now, which is Emmanuel Church here in Greenwood, Indiana. And ever since then, it's been just building blocks of my faith, and it's gotten more and more in depth with me actually, trying to pay attention as far as making sure I get my prayers in every day,
Mm-hmm.
making sure that I am going to church on Sundays, making sure that I think that the one of the things that has helped me is making sure that I apply what I learn when I
Sure.
go to
Sure.
church
Yep.
to my life. So faith is really big for me, just because I know that God is getting me through my struggles every day, and He puts
Yeah.
struggles in front of me to make me a better person and also grow my faith and to trust him. So
Yeah.
that's been a big thing for me, just even in the past 6 months. So just continuing to grow in my faith, continuing to apply everything that I'm learning from God to my life is key. And that's just kind of where I'm at with my faith and my spirituality right now.
Well, thank you for that, son. Angelo, if anybody wants to get in contact with you, how can they do that?
Yeah, so my email is Angelo Costantino ENT@gmail.com. And then also my Instagram is Low Adonis, which is LOADONNIS. Those are probably the two best ways to contact me. I'm always checking those, I'm always on those. So
Right.
if anybody wants to get in contact with me, just hit me up on there.
Well, son, again, I love you.
Love you too.
I think that you are an amazing father. I think that you're doing an amazing job, not just for Elijah, but for my other two grandchildren also,
Mm.
Caleb and Celeste,
Mhm.
doing an amazing job. I think you're obviously going to be an amazing husband to my daughter-in-law, Chastine, and you two are perfect for each other, right?
Yeah.
She's no nonsense. You
No
you got
nonsense.
you got the calm kind of demeanor. You kind of laid back, and it's okay, and so she's more like your mom.
Mhm.
she's a lot like your mom,
Mhm.
and then you're just like dad. And dad with that laid back personality and things like that. And so, but it's a pleasure, son, having you on the
Thank you.
show. You were the first, and now you're coming back with a little bit more excitement in your life and a little bit more news. And we got a big graduation coming up in July with the fire department, and
Mhm.
I will be there to
Mhm.
see you. And like I tell all the other first responders. Angelo, I thank you for your service, son. I thank you
Thank
for your
you.
service.
Thanks, Dad. I appreciate you. I love you. Thanks for having me on. I
I
appreciate it.
love you too. I love you too. And I'd like to thank my son, Angelo Costantino-Brown, for being on the show today and being a part of what has become a special opportunity for me. Here at the Leon Thomas Group with from the AD's view, something that happened, 2 years ago because I mentioned something on my LinkedIn page and said I'd just like to give honor to God, who's the head of my life. And Leon Thomas reached out to me. And the last thing that I just want to say about that is when someone gives you an opportunity and you may not know what's going on, reach into that opportunity, pour into that opportunity, because you meet individuals like Leon Thomas and the talent at the Leon Thomas Group and the people behind the scenes, Jay Rosenko, one of my other producers. And so when somebody gives you an opportunity, they reach that hand out, extend that hand back and come on in, and your life will change because my life has changed. And again, you're watching From the AD's View. I'm your host, Dr. Cedric Brown. Good night. God bless.